Cộng đồng khởi nghiệp thế giới có lẽ rất quen thuộc với ông Bill Aulet, tác giả quyển sách Disciplined Entrepreneurship 24 Steps to a Successful Startup, một quyển sách vừa được dịch sang tiếng Việt với tựa đề Kinh điển về khởi nghiệp, 24 bước khởi sự kinh doanh thành công. Ông Bill Aulet là giám đốc điều hành của trung tâm Martin Trust dành cho doanh nhân khởi nghiệp của Viện Công nghệ Massachusetts MIT. Ông đã có 25 năm thành công trong lĩnh vực kinh doanh, trực tiếp gọi vốn thành công hơn 100 triệu đô la cho các doanh nghiệp của mình. Một trong những thương vụ nổi bật nhất của ông Bill Aulet là dẫn dắt sự thay đổi của công ty công nghệ an ninh VSS. Và trong 2 năm, giá trị thị trường của VSS đã tăng từ 50 triệu đô la đến hơn 500 triệu đô la. Vừa qua, ông Bill Aulet đã đến Việt Nam theo lời mời của nhóm MIT5, nhóm 5 cựu sinh viên trường MIT, để gặp gỡ cộng đồng doanh nghiệp và giới trẻ khởi nghiệp tại Việt Nam. Ông cũng đã dành thời gian đến FBNC để chia sẻ nhiều hơn về quyển sách nổi tiếng của mình, Kinh điển về khởi nghiệp, 24 bước khởi sự kinh doanh thành công. Mời quý vị cùng theo dõi.
Tôi xin kính chào quý vị, mời quý vị bắt đầu theo dõi chương trình Câu chuyện kinh doanh. Thưa quý vị, vị khách mời của chương trình ngày hôm nay hết sức đặc biệt, đó là ông Bill Aulet, là giám đốc điều hành của Trung tâm Đào tạo Khởi nghiệp MIT. Đây là lần đầu tiên ông Bill đến Việt Nam và cũng đã có dịp đến FBNC để trò chuyện với chúng tôi về vấn đề khởi nghiệp, về câu chuyện khởi nghiệp cũng như về quyển sách của ông có tên là Kinh điển về khởi nghiệp, 24 bước dẫn tới thành công. Good afternoon, Bill Aulet. Thank you very much for coming here and joining in our program today. How are you today?
Xin chào, Trinley. I'm doing very well. It's nice to be in Vietnam.
Thank you very much. Now, let's just get started. Straight to the book that you've written.
Yes.
It's the Disciplined Entrepreneurship, right? Now, you have more than 25 years experience in entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And you have also been a very successful entrepreneur. So, how did you come up with the idea of the book?
Well, I've been a successful entrepreneur. I've also been a very unsuccessful entrepreneur too. And the book is really about, what makes you be a successful entrepreneur as opposed to being unsuccessful. And that's what I learned over the 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur. And so the book really says, what did I wish I knew when I first started out to be an entrepreneur?
Is the book really best applied for a tech startup, or it can be a good guide for any business ideas?
So just to, I worked at, to my career, I worked at IBM for 11 years, then I went to MIT, and then I was an entrepreneur for 20 years, and then I've been teaching for about 7 years now. And so I'm really more of an entrepreneur at heart, and that's what I do, and now I'm teaching it. And so the lessons that I have teach you how to make a high growth company, not just a company that will be successful, but a company that will grow rapidly and scale. And that's the real focus of my work. But people who do small companies say it's very useful to them. But I'm really focused on people who want to make a business that will really grow and have impact.
And of course, I know that it's a very famous book up until now. And almost everyone who wants to start a business would look for your book and maybe go through all the guidelines there. But have you ever received any negative comments about your book at all?
Yes, absolutely. And I like negative comments because you can always get better and you must always get better. So the book helps people who want to start companies or people who have already started companies to make them better. And there's a lot of books out there, and I'm happy that it's done so well. But what I've done is I've taken the best parts from many different books and many different things I've learned and put them in one place so that you can go in a systematic way through it. The negative comments that I get from people are, wow, it's so hard. Why do you have 24 steps? Can't you just have 3 steps? And I say to them, no, you can't, because entrepreneurship isn't easy. It's hard. If you think it's easy, then you're going to be misled. So those are the biggest comments I hear, is it's so hard. But in life, there's no reward for easy jobs. And I think people in Vietnam know that. I've come here, I'm out in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I see Vietnamese people working very, very hard. So I think that hard work is not something Vietnamese fear, and you can't fear it if you're an entrepreneur.
Oh, thank you for your comments there about Vietnamese people. But you've mentioned you've taken the best parts or the good parts from other books about entrepreneurship. and you combined and with your own experience, you have written the book out. Is that the main differences between your book and others'
Yes.
books?
So the main difference is I'm not trying to just say one new thing and that's all I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is if you want to start a business, here's a way where you can go from idea to product in a systematic way. And so basically you're building a toolbox. You have many different tools in that toolbox. And I'm not concerned about inventing tools myself. I'm concerned about getting the best tools in that toolbox and ones that we know work. So this toolbox approach is a unique thing. The other unique part of it is at MIT, we have a very rigorous approach to what we teach. And so before I put things into the book, they have to be validated and tested and proven to be true. So when someone reads the book and they say, oh, I know that, I knew that before, that makes me happy because what we're doing is confirming that there are certain things out there. So if any entrepreneur will pick up the book and they'll say, I know parts of this book. That's great, and those are the things that you should continue to do. But what about the other things that you didn't know? How should you do these? What's the order? And how do you loop back when you know that it's not working? This is what the book is all about.
Well, that's very, very good. Even I want to read the books right now. So do you know that your book was translated into Vietnamese as well? You happy about that?
Yeah, I'm extremely happy. It's, you know, when it first came out in English or American, it did very well. But entrepreneurship should be something that goes to the entire world. And it's not, entrepreneurship isn't a phenomenon that's just in the United States. You see it happening in London, Israel, China, all around the world. And for an entrepreneur to be good, they have to be able to work in different parts of the world. And the other, you never know where the best entrepreneur is going to come from either. You know, they don't just come from MIT. You know, if you look at the United States, there's a place called Wisconsin, and it's not a well-known place, it's the middle of the country. And in that state, there was once born to a German Catholic mother and a Syrian father out of wedlock a child that was, and it was put up for adoption. And that person was adopted by a family in California, and that became Steve Jobs. And so the greatest entrepreneurs are ones that we don't know where they're going to come from. And we say, you know, the hungry tiger hunts the best. So it's not just a person who's comfortable at MIT, at Harvard, at Stanford. We want to get entrepreneurship opportunities out to the entire world. And so it's wonderful that it comes to a place like Vietnam. And I have very good friends here from MIT, and that makes me very, very happy.
And you've received any feedbacks from Vietnamese readers at all?
Yes, we just were up in Hanoi yesterday and we had 600 people there. And the enthusiasm and energy was extremely high. And the questions just, you know, people were raising their hand for questions, which made me very, very happy. Because sometimes I'll go to Asia and I'll give a talk and everybody writes a lot of notes down. Then I say, are there any questions? And everybody looks down. But in Hanoi, they said, are there any questions? And you know, dozens of hands shot up in the air. They said they want to know how to apply it in the real world.
Yeah,
and that makes me very excited.
Okay. Yeah, I think it must interest a lot of people as well. We will be talking more about a very focused group of startups, which is low-tech startup, which is very different from many entrepreneurship and many startup companies in the America when the program returns. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you.
Thưa quý vị, chúng tôi đang trò chuyện với ông Bill Aulet là giám đốc điều hành của Trung tâm Đào tạo Khởi nghiệp MIT tại Mỹ, và chúng tôi sẽ quay lại với phần tiếp theo của chương trình sau ít phút giải lao.